Welcome, folks, to Occultists Anonymous, episode 1. Or, more specifically, what are we calling this, Chris?
Obsessive Boys Doing Magic.
Hey, he's running it. I'm just...
RV Mage.
I'm RV Mage, yeah. We'll figure it out. You guys on YouTube, you can see what it is. Twitch guys, we'll figure it out later. As always, we are sponsored by... Roll20, the Onyx Path, and viewers like you. If you're wondering what the hell is going on because you're new here and why is everybody acting weird, we'll get into that here in a minute. But a special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily every month, letting us do super cool stuff. I think our art is 100% going to be done by the time we come around to episode 100. So if the overlay looks funny right now, wait just a little bit longer, because once we get the art, then I'm going to pass it over to my wife, Amanda, who... Hi, honey. Well, she's probably not going to watch this one, but who's also editing our second half videos. So, yeah. And she's going to do some new overlays, new thumbnails, and that's thanks to you guys. Yeah, sometimes I occasionally have to pay my own wife. What? But and that is literally thanks to you guys who support us monetarily. Thank you to Adam, Al, Alan, Michael, Alexander, Algos, Badur, Bernie, Brandon, Danny, Doc, Emil, Giovanni, James, Jenny, John, Josh, Julian, Cat Feathers, Lance, Melissa, Michael, Moku, Noba, Noctal, Not Michael, Perry, Puppeteer, Roy Visgrad, Ryan, Schmitty, Sebastian, Sinna, Terry, Thomas, Usuf Sama, and Firekeeper. Thank you guys very much for your support. If you're wondering what's going on right now and why everything is weird, and you know your friend told you to come watch this show with them or whatever, hi, I'm Drew. I normally story tell, and that's... Hang on, am I pointing in the right direction? I gotta make sure I'm pointing in the right direction. It's that way. Chris normally plays Songbird, but today, and for the next couple weeks, we're swapping roles. So Chris will be doing the storytelling. I will be playing Songbird. No, I will be playing Drifter. Wait, no, that's over here. The Mastigos from the Silver Ladder. So yes, the Cabal has another Mastigos, except it's not the Cabal because...
Not the Cabal. And they're not even a Cabal.
No.
And we'll get into that in just a second.
Yes. Oh, hang on. Is Craig... Are we having a change here? Oh, no. I remember Craig mentioned that he might get props out, okay? So I wasn't sure.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
So I pull out my gun?
I think it's more cigar.
Yeah, fair.
Likely. But yes, Ash is playing Amanita, and Craig is playing Vicar, and you'll meet all of them later. I'm trying to think. Oh, there was one little thing. Onyx Path has currently got the Scarred Lands Player's Guide. So if you're interested in playing D&D in some place that is not the Forgotten Realms because you're just tired of the Forgotten Realms, go swing by, check that out. It's pay what you want. So that lets you pick something up for technically free if you want. I highly suggest pay something, anything. That way that supports Onyx Path and the creators and writers and stuff like that. But so that's a cool thing that's going on through this weekend. So YouTube guys, you're too late. Twitch guys, get on it. Chris, I'm done. I'm just... All right. This is all you, bud.
Okay, so Songbird walks into... No.
We've been had.
Yep. This is the Songbird episode for 3 weeks. No, so hey, welcome to Richmond, Virginia, my hometown. I thought it'd be cool to put a bunch of fucked up wizards in it, and they made 3 more fucked up wizards, so right. We'll get into it. Who wants to go first?
Dealer's choice.
I mean, you are the storyteller.
It's true. Ash says no, so let's go with Drew.
Sure. So yeah, we pick up. Oh God! Wait, hang on. What is happening? Yes, no. Actually, you all, as the camera here, see. It's a well-appointed room of leather furniture, dark wood panelings, big rugged stone fireplace. This is the private back rooms of the Stag and Lion. A Silver Ladder meeting place and ritual, meeting and ritual place. Read my notes, right? So it is not, everybody else thinks it's a bar, it's a cocktail lounge and stuff like that. And they've obviously got a private back room for VIP stuff and private functions. Here amongst it is the upper echelons of the cult. Not that they call it a cult, and not that it's ever been given a name, but to reach this level of the cult, because that's what it is, means that these sleepers have started to see the connections. They sense the organization that's going on. They've seen the lie, if only in part, and they've tapped into supernatural powers that they never would have believed in before. Today, the Illuminated, the highest levels of the Cryptopoly, have gathered to witness the elevation of one of their members, an established member of the cult who has been in position long enough that the Cryptopoly has determined that perhaps he's in danger of never actually awakening. He's seen too much. He's become too comfortable in his place. So with permission of the Silver Ladder's Alethians, one of each path who are standing nearby, unseen, and waiting to help if, the awakening does actually happen. The Cryptopoly...
One second.
Mm-hmm.
Where are these Silver Ladder Alethians coming from? In my setting that doesn't have any Silver Ladder?
Oh, well, hey, I wrote it. You said it was cool.
Sorry, I must have missed that part.
Yeah, no, they're... Well, and this could be from the other part of the caucus.
Yourself.
Okay.
But yes, one of each path remain the Cryptopoly itself will set forth to induce a mystery play for the deserving and lingering slow member. The couches and chairs of the back room have been pushed back to the sides, giving an open space. And Drifter, my character, stands at the front of the fireplace on a small stone little outcropping that gives him a little elevation above everybody else, kind of directing attention to him. The sleepers sit or kneel as is comfortable in a semicircle behind the man, reaching forward, laying their hands on him, or if they're not able to reach, playing hands on the ones closer to him. And there are two illuminated sleepwalkers who standing as intermediaries and guardians between the mage and the sleepers. And Drifter speaks. Mid-30s guy who's definitely... He's got a particular dress style. Go check the Pinterest. I'm not going to describe it heavily, but he's eye-catching. Alexis, you have come a long way in your journey. Your eyes but barely peek open, though, barely glimpsing the true wonder of the world. This is no fault of your own. You've studied, you've met every challenge, you've served your fellows and your community. The lie still blinds you. So now we beseech the oracles. We call out to the watchtowers on your behalf, requesting that your eyes be opened. Of course, Drifter stops speaking. But this, however, is a lie. You don't get to call out to the watchtowers. The oracles offer no comfort. Drifter, however, is a Mastigos, an adept of the mind, a wielder of nightmares and dreams. My friends, lend Alexis your will. Offer silent prayers and support. He will need them now. Drifter steps down from the fireplace. The mantle, of course, is covered in Silver Ladder iconography, the stag, the lion, the sage. Drifter kneels down with Alexis, resting his forehead against his, and weaves a spell of nightmares and horror. See, Drifter knows only one path, one supernal world, and it's not a nice one. And as Alexis starts to twitch and move, Drifter kind of whispers, "I'm sorry. I hope you will forgive me in the end. Only by breaking your mind can I break your chains."
Hell yeah. What a bad man. Bad man.
Not a good guy, guys.
So yeah, the Alethians that you mentioned that suddenly are there, they, look over everything. You see them, kind of take a look with Mage sight and stuff like that. And like, all right, seems to be fine. And they head out pretty immediately. And an older gentleman with a white, headband, length of silk headband wrapped around his eyes. Blindfolded. Well, not yeah, blindfold has I don't know, a different look to me, but anyways, walks over, long gray beard, hair pulled back, dressed in something akin to maybe a monk's robe or like a modified toga, walks over and reaches out and hesitates for a second and then finds your shoulder. You've done well.
Do I know this man?
This is Virgil.
Okay. Thank you, Virgil.
You've put in a lot of hard work in this city in the last few months.
Doing my duty.
It's good. It's good. Well, and then like in the background, Alexis starts screaming and flailing around, and everyone else is like quickly ushered out of the way so that he can be scurried away and protected. And Virgil pulls you aside, looks, I would say looks, but you know, he is blind.
Sure.
Looks deeply into the fire and just kind of feels the warmth of it on his face. And asks you if the cryptopoly is keeping you too busy to add another couple intrigues to your life.
No.
Very well. I just received news from our Free Council friends that one of their cabals has found a rather special place that belongs to us. Would you like to go to the Capitol building?
I feel like you're, is this a trick question? Of course I would like to go to the Capitol building.
Very well.
As in to do work in the Capitol building?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be wise if you drove.
Yes, driving. Okay. Did you see what I drive? No, sorry, bad question. Sure, I have a spare helmet. Because of course Drifter drives a motorcycle.
So this, 60-year-old blind dude puts on a motorcycle helmet and gets on the back of your motorcycle.
Yep.
What kind of bike is this?
It's a custom, old school, made to look a little rough Harley.
Like straight frame kind of.
Mm-hmm. It's in the Pinterest.
Fair. I think I saw it.
Chad is roasting your design.
And
it's okay. He has a legacy, and that's why he dresses the way he does.
Ultimate for Panic at the Disco.
And he, as you get there, reaches out and just puts a spell on the two of you.
Sure.
To turn you invisible.
Oh, okay. We can do this that way.
On a motorcycle?
No,
sure.
Once you're parked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're like, that's real dangerous.
And whisks you through the grounds of the Capitol building, up through a meandering path of concrete steps, past the giant white pillars, and in through the door leading into the rotunda.
Just to clarify, because we do have some international friends here, are we talking about the state capitol building or
the state capitol?
Okay.
Yes, the Virginia State Capitol building,
yep.
Which is in Richmond. Sorry, Richmond is the state capital. Hey. And as soon as you enter into the lavishly designed oldly 1800s decorations, with a soaring rotunda over top, there is a statue in the center surrounded by an iron fence, statues of Thomas Jefferson.
Interesting.
And as soon as you lay eyes upon it, your passive mage sight triggers.
Cool.
What does that feel like? What does that look like to Drifter?
Yeah, that's a nice set of heavy chains pulling down at his ankles and his wrists. Something is trying to lock him down and keep him in place, and not a fan, son. So yeah, the active mage sight immediately goes on with all three of my arcana. Mind, space, and spirit.
Cool. There is well, actually, roll a Clash of Wills for me.
Against which arcana, sir?
Against space or mind is fine.
Cool. I'm just realizing that we don't have the macro set up. I don't have a simple button to press. Hang on here.
Oh no. I thought I added them.
You go into the macros, open them, and make them visible to all players.
I thought I added them.
Ah, I see. Okay, so yes. For now, I will use my...
They're asking if this is like a different world than our normal game.
Yes.
Or is this what's going on in Richmond?
Nope.
Okay, separate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Potentially could be, but because I'm storytelling the other one, I don't know what's going on here. We're going to see this in a different place. That said, this is happening April 2020. So
Yep.
this is also a year ahead of where the Rookery
and
is.
And no plague.
Right. So yeah, I got a whopping 1 success, sir.
All right. Still got it.
It's good enough.
I'll take it.
You turn on your eyes and focus, and you recognize that there is a veiling spell surrounding the statue, and you're able to see that it is not actually there. It is slightly about 10 feet further back than what it looks like, and that the entire area is shifted, and just inside of where this iron fence would be is a set of stone stairs.
Oh, right, because it's fenced off, so nobody's going to walk into it. Okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I look over at Virgil and go, are we going down?
Yes.
Cool. Take his arm, my grandfather, as I escort him.
I can walk.
Just putting on... Well, no, that's right, we're invisible. Yeah, okay, screw you, you're on your own. Yeah, head down.
And you kind of walk around a gently curving... I think with space, like magic, you just naturally be good at measurements.
Yes, actually, with active mage sight. Mm-hmm.
And you recognize that it's kind of like a spiral staircase that's about 10 foot in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
The curve is, at least. And when you get to the bottom, it opens up into about 10 foot by 10 foot room with floor to ceiling mahogany and expensive looking well-designed bookcases, and a gigantic plank wooden table in the center.
This is one of ours, Virgil?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm
noting.
And there are a couple things laid out on the table. Ingrained, carved and magically imprinted onto the table is the silver ladder symbol.
Sure.
In what you would recognize as a little bit of an older sort of sets of runes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the table is a book that is fairly thick, leather bound, diary looking sort of thing.
Is it dusty? People have been here recently, or
there is still dust in the room. It looks like it has been disturbed. And notably, there is a couple spots on the floor that have some, well, I think Drifter would know this very well, recently cleaned blood.
Virgil,
The marble was stained just a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Virgil, I'm going to take a educated guess here. Has something happened?
Yes. The Free Council Cabal discovered this in the hands of flunkies of our friends to the north.
Oh, fabulous. Have we... Well, hang on. Where... One of our sanctums, seers are here, whereas the rest of us... Like, the Silver Ladder? Like, we have no other... Or does Drifter already know this?
You've been in town for a bit, yeah?
Yeah, you've been here long enough to know. You and Virgil are the only Silver Ladder members of this concilium.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay.
And to give the audience a little bit of background, the Drifter would know, about a year and a half ago, Richmond and DC, the Richmond Concilium and the various seers of the Iron Pyramid of Washington, DC, which is about 2 hours drive north, got into a big old hot war conflict. And the sort of final atrocity of that was the seers wiping out the Silver Ladder nearly to a single man, and actually to a single man, which is Virgil, who they left blind and, in their eyes, broken as a sort of message. So a lot of the knowledge and records and stuff like that would have been lost, and it's plainly just too much for Virgil to keep up with. It wasn't his area of expertise before this.
Oh, sure. I mean, and mages are paranoid as fuck and not going to share everything, so, yeah.
Right. So also on the table next to the diary is a large signet ring.
As a space mage, yes, please.
What do you do?
Well, mage sight's still on. Do I notice any active magic on any of this?
You would note that there's something spacey about the ring.
Cool. All right. I'm not too concerned about that, so I will go and, without touching it, give it a quick little look over, fish a pencil out of my pocket, you know.
Sure. Cool. Why don't you roll? Just Gnosis plus space.
Sure.
Two successes.
2 successes, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to get macros set up on our break. You recognize that this is a key to a space related effect, and quickly put together that it is related to the veiling effect upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any, like, this isn't really skill dots, but does Drifter have much knowledge of, like, history or
no,
famous figures or anything like that?
Prior to Awakening, he was an accountant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Virgil notices you looking over the ring and maybe taking a couple glances at the diary and everything like that. And says that ring came from a rather famous figure of Virginian history.
I mean, there's a couple. You want to narrow it down for me, Virgil?
Yeah. It belonged to James Monroe.
Cool.
Or at least it seems that it did, because it was pulled out of his grave last week. And around the sort of petrified remains of his body was a necklace made of orichalcum with a silver ladder symbology.
Wait, so hang on. And this is Drifter doing the catch up because he's a smart guy, but he's not so academically inclined. So this key to the thing up there. So has this place been unused?
Yes.
Oh, there's so many goodies in here. Okay.
Yeah, and like I think with a little bit more looking, like, because on Prime Site you don't necessarily like immediately notice that there's fucking grimoires and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think with if you spend a little time like going through some of the shelves and stuff like that, you'd find some definite.
Sure. I mean, it's a Silver Ladder Sanctum. Like, there's going to be something like that. So
right.
There are goodies here to be found.
Yeah, so Drifter's going to work with Virgil and start going through and seeing, notably, what stuff was disturbed by seer flunkies. And yeah.
Cool. We'll catch back up with Drifter in a little bit. All right, you two.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
Dealer's choice.
Let's see. Craig moved his hand first.
I didn't write a
Does an
story.
almost volunteer?
It's okay. Drew went above and beyond. I've got.
It's like I've been waiting to play a character for a little bit or something.
Yeah, Drew texted me, was like, I'm gonna like write up this thing tomorrow and then you can read it, and if you want to change anything, then I was like, yeah, dude, cool, go for it. Yeah, so we'll pick up with Amanita next.
Okay.
So we kind of have this like, I like to like do like directorial sort of flyovers and stuff like that and describe the scene a little bit. So we kind of have like a shot kind of panning in over a perfectly manicured greens and garden surrounding a squat, square, 2-story plantation house. It is evening. A cool breeze is blowing through the garden, and light spills out the windows of the plantation house as 4 nondescript white guys in suits sit at a table, calmly eating a rather late dinner. Their camera kind of pulls around to the back of the house, and striding and kind of reaching out and draping her hand along the various vines and plants in the garden and the trellis is Amanita. Give us a description there.
She is 30 years old, short, mossy green hair, dressed like a fairly standard hippie witch, loose, flowy layers, earth tones. She looks like anyone you would find at the Ren Fair.
Cool. And you kind of walk up towards a hill that kind of meets the house somewhere between the ground and first floor, and are able to see in through the window. What is Amanita here to do today?
Presumably hunting.
Hmm?
She takes any opportunity to go hunt down seers in and around the city. She's
Cool.
come here
And-
because you're having some troubles and has gone to work.
Yes, and earlier today, or probably several days ago, one of the you had received some information from Huxley, who is the leader of the Free Council here in Richmond. And she had told you a little bit of information of someone that you could go take out, and simply gave you a location and the name Ascetica. What do you do?
Can Web of Life detect mages as separate from normal humans? No, right?
Probably not.
Well, passive mage site would ping if they had any active spells on, right? I want to see if these are mages or sleepers. I can do that with that site. What's that spell? Where is it? I know it's in here.
Could have sworn there's a 1.death thing, but
Yeah.
soul marks, I thought.
Yeah, that will show you an awakened soul, right?
If the subject is awakened. Yep.
Yes. I'm going to cast that on and look at these 4.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
No, I don't have my
Roll some
markers.
Nope.
Okay. So it costs mana. Okay.
You've got enough reach for it.
Yeah.
Instant sensory and scale. We'll do it.
Okay. Where is... It's macro. Okay, posted. So it's going to be 8. For my Yantras, I've got my Shadow Name at 3. I've got... Can I just, whisper high speech, kind of?
You do have to make yourself heard, but it won't be heard inside.
Okay. Seven successes?
Yeah, that sounds about right. What would you like to do with that?
Do I get a certain number of questions?
It's based on potency, so you can have an extra one if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1, are they awakened? Any of these guys?
No.
Okay, so these are normal humans. Have any of them had their souls tampered with?
No.
Okay. I am still going to do Web of Life to see if there's anyone else in this house.
Okay.
That should be the same roll, but without a mana. 1 success. Looking for people.
Okay. There is someone on the 2nd floor.
Okay. How to sneak inside? I'm not good at that. Is there a way to determine if these guys are with this year's?
You have done enough research over the last few days that yeah, you can know.
Okay, because I'm not just going to go
this is where you have
killing
tracked
sleepers,
this
but
mage.
yeah.
You haven't done enough to realize that these are presumably, almost certainly, sleepwalkers working for Ascetica.
Okay. In that case, I know how I would like to have set this up, but I don't know.
I mean, feel free to narrate what you've done. You don't have to pick up like right at the moment that I said, so
Okay.
you can definitely have set some things up.
Basically, before coming here, I would have prepared and had like sort of poisoned seeds.
Mhm.
I would probably poison their dinner.
Okay.
I mean, life magic is all about food.
Yeah, like. What spell makes things poisonous? Transform
I mean,
life.
if you're talking about like what we talked about in Discord,
Mhm.
then it'd probably be a weaving spell, a life 3, like creativity, sort of a transform life.
Mhm.
Definitely a bit of a different take on it, but
Yeah.
that's totally fine. Life is, you can do a lot of things.
Mhm.
Definitely don't have to be restricted to the spells in the book.
So, and if I wanted to cast that now to, I guess, activate it and make them all drop dead,
Mhm.
it will be. I need a reach for instant, a reach for scale, a reach for range, which I've got. So,
Mhm.
9 successes.
13 dice.
Back up a little bit. Do you want to have more potency on this? What is the exactly the imago of the spell? Like, is this a direct attack or is it?
I want to essentially assault them with very, very toxic poisons that will drop them very quickly. So,
Sure.
yes to the potency.
Like
yes.
dead or sleeping or euphoric.
Like dead.
Just
I think
clarify.
arsenic. Yeah,
Sure.
I think we're
Yeah.
going straight to arsenic. Peach pits on everybody.
Yeah. So we'll make this be a life force spell, so you'll be a little bit overreach.
Mhm.
And yeah, life 4 can kill some people pretty well. I think you probably need to beat their stamina with the withstand.
Okay. How do I up that?
2 for 1 for potency.
Okay, so
You have a well, I don't know. Your imago, is it a potency spell or is it a duration spell? That you're like, are you layering the poison into the food, or is it you're turning the food to poison and attacking with it?
I mean, again, it depends on how we would have set this up. She does things mostly. She's all about planning. Like, my specialization for stealth is in shadowing. It's in following people, setting things up, and then triggering it. So the food would have.
Chat says something good. You just blast through the withstand with the exceptional success. So there you go. But yeah, I think for future reference, it'd probably be a duration spell.
Okay, yeah.
You're just like,
it was basically
you're transforming this food to be like this and activate, not by casting another spell, but by like being ingested. You're giving this food the property of poison. By being ingested, it kills them. Cool. So
their black pepper to taste like black pepper, but actually be arsenic.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know how arsenic kills people, but
Pretty quick.
yeah, I mean, like side effects and what it would look like. and stuff.
Unpleasantly.
Yeah, I imagine so. So Amanita kind of sits there, and I imagine a little bit of a grin on her face as these guys, keel over and slump down onto the table, Drew just looked it up. It's not good.
Red
Yeah.
swollen skin changes, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, the other end,
Nice.
abnormal heart rhythm, muscle cramps, tingling of toes, and you just
Yeah,
fall
I was
over.
looking up box jelly venoms,
Oh, yeah.
which
It's good too.
are nasty and very, very quick.
Mhm.
Just give them a very high dosage of that and seize up.
I'll tell you, in the audience earlier today, we talked about, or maybe the other day, we talked about possibly having like mushroom spores just like rip out of people's skin and stuff like that. Like do a cordyceps.
Mhm.
So Amanita is not a nice person.
Yeah, you all thought I was messed up.
Not to the seers.
Oh, wait.
She's nice to the sleepers.
Oh, God. Has this become a one-up campaign?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. I'm going in. Cool. What do you do now?
Okay, well, now that everyone but Aesthetica is down, I'm going to go inside.
Cool.
I'm still going to try to, like, sneak.
Sure. Roll some dice for that.
Yeah, that would be Dex and Stealth.
For sure. Say -1 penalty for like creaky old floorboards and
Mhm.
stuff.
So,
Ah, yes. Skill
Six.
rolls with penalties.
2 successes.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to sneak in quietly through the door and minimize your. I can only assume very stompy boots on these on these creaky floorboards, and you make your way up to the room that you had detected Aesthetica in. What next?
I guess I'm gonna open the door. Like, I don't like not getting the jump on people, but I can't do much from the other side of a closed door. Look for her.
Drifter's like, I can do all sorts of things from the other side of a door. I got space magic, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm just
Just-
going to reach out and open the door.
Okay.
Who is inside?
There is a man sitting at a desk in a long black robe and hood.
Black spy color.
Yeah. He is bent over a desk, scribbling furiously into his notebook. And as soon as you open the door, you feel something wrong. And your mage sight triggers.
Okay. I'm going to turn on all my active mage sights, pay a mana for the death sight. So, death, life, spirit.
Nothing particular falls out of that. But you recognize, just by virtue of mage sight itself, that you are now at the edge of a verge.
So I shouldn't step any further.
Well, verges are like natural domains. So, depending on what type of verge it is, it could be fine. Could also be a, exarchal verge.
Yeah. Can I reach inside it? Like, with things?
With things? What do you mean with things?
Like with a weapon?
Sure.
I don't know what crossing this threshold will do.
It would literally be like walking into a domain.
Mhm.
So by default, nothing but things that are inside it are, just like a normal domain, you have no reach so long as it doesn't leave the domain.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a verge. Step in there and they have unlimited reach.
If you're attuned to it, though, right? Like if you're following this, no, it's universal.
Well, so long as it's of the right arcana,
which is none of mine. So, I'm just going to cast Accelerate Growth on this man.
It's one of the best spells.
I have it as a rote, so that means I get reach, right? Like all the reach I need?
Well, it's Accelerate Growth is a 3 or 4 dot spell.
It's 4 dot.
Okay, so you're going to get
2
1
reach.
extra. Yeah,
I
2
get
reach total. Because you're casting as if you had 5 life.
Mm-hmm. Let me pull it up. Okay, I don't need any reach to make it go faster.
Nope, goes based on potency.
Okay.
At an exponential factors.
Yes. So
The more potency you work up, the better it is.
I need 1 for instant, 1 for range. So that's my 2 reach gone.
Mhm.
1 for advanced potency will put me at, for my paradox. I don't know if I can do this and get it high enough to actually kill him. Because I don't know how old he is.
I mean, to like kill him is gonna take like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can overreach to get the, stun effect when the spell wears off. Knocking him into an induced coma for a number of days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll just take that instead. So that's still got me at 3. I need to beat his stamina. So that competes with potency. So it's by default 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me do the math on how many dice I'm starting with. 8 and 8 and 5 is 13. Or 4 and 4 and 5.
What are your gotchas?
No, I don't want to use high speech. It takes too long. So it would
And
be
it's
shattered.
Because you can only use 1 reflexively, so the next you're going to have to take multiple turns anyways.
Shadow name then. I want to do this quickly. So 7. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I would need to have like a -4 to have it potency 3. That's assuming he's only got 2 stamina.
And don't forget, you can throw willpower at it.
That would still be only 5 dice.
Statistically speaking,
I'd be okay with just doing a like unraveling spell where instead of like actively causing him to actually grow and accelerate through his life, you're just like inflicting all of the badness of getting old upon him.
I mean, you do have death.
That's withering, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same spell, just what you said. It's still death 4. It's
and you can do combined attack spells. it won't like double the damage or anything, but it will allow you to get any of the other reach effects.
Mhm.
For example, the life one can increase wound penalties by 2.
Mhm. Well, Withering doesn't have a withstand. Because it's a damage
Right.
spell.
It's just a
Right.
damage spell.
Okay. I'll do that instead.
Okay.
I don't have the road, so I only get 1 free reach. So I'm still overreaching by 2.
That's fine. You got a bunch of mana.
Mhm.
Spend 4 mana a turn, so you can handle a lot of the paradox.
I'm not going to be able to drop this guy with that spell because I can't get enough potency to kill him unless he has like 3 hit points, which I doubt.
But you can certainly fuck him up a lot.
You could lose 1 point of damage per potency.
Right, but it's a potency spell.
The more
Start with
successes
4.
you get.
Okay.
Don't be afraid, he won't kill us on the first session.
So I start with 7, add 3 for 10, and then when I start taking out steps for potency, if I take 2 more, that'll be 6.
6. Mm-hmm.
1 success. And 4 mana to contain that paradox.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so chance die.
Mm-hmm.
That macro didn't work. Well. Roll your wisdom if you would.
Mm-hmm.
For the podcast at home, that chance die of paradox ended up
Rolled a
coming up as
10.
a 10.
No
Nope.
successes.
Oof.
Welcome to an abyssal something or other.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the one that makes you add reach.
The one that screws up your Maga.
Mm-hmm. Abyssal Imago, I think is the right one. Yeah, so Paradox floods into your Imago, and you now have to add reach equal to the number of successes that the Paradox rolled. So it's only 1. And it goes away if you cast a spell that doesn't cause Paradox.
Yeah.
Doesn't threaten Paradox, I should say. What was the final potency of your spell?
5. Or wait, 6.
Okay.
Because I started at 4.
6? Okay.
Yep.
You launch off the spell. It's like a withering, right?
Mhm.
It's like death spell trying to like just kind of age him and cause some nastiness. Is it lethal or aggravated?
Lethal.
Okay.
There's a bonus reach to make it aggravated by spending 1 mana. Oh, but I still have to have the extra reach. That would be another paradox dice.
Right.
You watch as this guy has like 1 small liver spot pop up on, I guess, on like his hand that you can see or something like that. And you turn around, he turns around at his desk, and you can see that like his face is looking just a little bit gaunt. But it did not seem like it did 5 lethal damage. You know, it's rather impolite to try to kill someone without introducing yourself.
I don't have much interest in talking to you.
Why not? There's so many interesting things we could talk about.
Stab the motherfucker!
No.
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 How did you find me?
Why would I tell you that?
Why did you find me?
He's a villain, he's monologuing.
Don't you? Yeah.
Don't fall for this.
Yeah, you should know that part.
Well, it's a shame. I do always hate taking the life of an awakened. But I suppose you've already disposed of my friends downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Well done. They probably deserved it. The Father's judgment does belong to us all. So, if you're here to kill me, step inside and try to kill me.
Try to look at this and see if I can do that again. I mean, I'll paradox. Like, I don't know the way out of this, honestly.
Why does
Is the
that suck?
problem. I can't. Like,
Wow.
Do it again. You got plenty of mana.
no, I don't. I've got 3. I've got 4. I can do that one more time.
Why do you have 4 mana?
Because
You
I've
have
used...
13 total.
Do I have 13 total?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Nos is 4.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then I've got 6.
Something magic, only need 1 health.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to do the same thing. I spend another willpower and take the potency up again. I'll be rolling 4, which I don't like.
He sees you, like, studying your will at him, and says, well, we could do this a little bit more civilized.
No?
No? You wouldn't allow me to have a fair duel for my life?
Why?
Silver letter sense is tingling. You're supposed to! Alex Magica!
I mean, I don't see why I should ever listen to a seer.
Fair enough. I was going to give you a chance to show off your art in a more formal and pronounced way.
I mean, it's more than I don't think you would listen. Like, you're gonna have a magic duel and you're just gonna die. Like, we're not trying to settle disputes here.
I mean, we are. You and I both know that only one of us will leave this room.
Okay, fine.
Cool. And he reaches out, and you feel and see all of the imagos that are in this room become visible and displayed. And then he starts pointing and dismissing them, points at himself and dismisses them, until the only thing left in the room is a lingering spell of what you can put together as prime.
Mm.
So, winner gets to leave, the loser dies. Is that our terms?
Sure.
Very well. I will await your first attack.
I have no idea of what this even entails. Like,
So this is Arcane Duel, or Duel Arcane.
mm-hmm.
Duel has an E, not an A.
I mean, they both do.
True.
Oh my god, I can't remember where it's at.
All right. So health levels are replaced with doors. You have as many doors as you have dots in willpower.
Like, total?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got 6.
6? Goddamn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Where is this in this book?
Oh, 294.
Yep.
Slaggy PDF. Okay, so it's +2 doors for fighting a seer. And they would also get 2 at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that?
Door
Top of
modifiers.
Page 294.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you've got 8. I will tell you that he has 6.
Okay.
Oh, what a wuss. Kick his ass!
Let me read this.
It's nice to be able to yell and scream about killing NPCs.
Right?
Mhm.
So you can either attack or defend. And just kind of describe. And this is, like, the ritual space is a lot more wild and free with magic, so just describe an imago and put together an attribute plus an arcana.
Okay. Depending on how
So, like-
ideally she would want to.
Like, just to
Do you-
throw one out there, throwing a fireball would be like dexterity plus forces.
Mhm.
So, and feel free to get, funky.
I like the imago of just like the plants climbing up the building from the outside and coming in through the window and strangling him.
Cool.
So it's going to be life and probably a mental stat. Or
Controlling them with your mind,
Yeah. Manipulation.
Sure.
I got 4 successes. I don't know what
Nice.
that means on this.
I think
Unless he's defending, that opens a door.
I was trying to see if there's like a thing for exceptional successes.
Excess successes roll over to the next roll.
Like add dice to the next roll?
If it opens or does not, successes above and beyond opening the door are added to the character's next roll as bonus dice instead of opening additional doors.
Nice.
You still must account for spell factors and resistance.
Yeah, that's bullshit. It's not supposed to be in there.
Okay.
Same thing with reach.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you just say, I would do this thing. And
Yeah, this is Merlin and Madman Mim going back and
Yep.
forth, back and forth, back and forth.
So he kind of pulls off the straggles of vines and everything around his throat and just kind of puts his hands out in like a classic just like man of the cloth sort of pose. And you look up as a like gigantic set of scales fall down and try to crush you. As the God damn it, this macro did not work. He is going to roll presence plus prime.
Also, for all those people who are wondering, why don't I just, why would I ever increase my attributes instead of Gnosis and Arcana? This would be one of the reasons.
you got 2 successes.
2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this my turn again?
Mm-hmm. 1-1.
Okay. Okay, he only had 6.
Mhm.
And you can do the same one until you fail.
Now I also like the cordyceps sort of idea of just like something inside you growing quickly and out and
The
out
watermelon seed that you ate as a child.
Yep.
Revenge.
just sort of erupting, and it'll be the same stats. Still life and manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
3 successes.
Did you add your extra dice?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I had extra dice.
Yeah,
Roll 3 more.
You,
Um,
the 3 successes you got on the first one.
Oh, okay. No more.
So you have 2 to carry over to the next one, though.
Yeah, I feel like an exceptional success should open 2 doors.
So we just have to do this back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that's where you get into, I'm going to defend. So if he can defend against your manipulation plus life, which is your best, and force you to use something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes the game. 2-1.
Yeah, and his next attack is to I think just like directly underneath you, this gigantic iron circle appears, and the full weight of the authority of the Father just oppresses the whole area, and you feel yourself being squished and turmoiled and guilty and all that. That's 1 success.
Okay.
2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to have him choked out again.
Yeah, at this point, like, fucking mushrooms are just, like, pouring out of his body, and
You'll have an extra
Yeah.
2
2 extra.
successes. Cool.
It's only 1 more next time.
Mm-hmm. And he's got none extra.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is starting to feel a little bit endangered, and weaves a like solid bubble of prime magic around himself, and like shunts out all of the plants and everything like that. These things aren't real. This is not the truth. I am in control. So your next attack will be a contested roll.
Okay. What is it contesting?
He's
His
going to
prime.
roll. It's going to be successes versus successes.
Okay. For my next one, I'm going to roll death and manipulation also. Is that? No, that's not the right stat for the withering. Essentially, I want to just age decay on him.
You tell me. I mean, is it like a force of will thing, or is it you're using
I'm
your
trying
wits
to
to
figure out
find a
what-
hole in his defense, or
what stat forcing on?
Top tier then.
Yeah.
Intelligence, strength, or presence if you're doing force.
Mhm.
As opposed to force, capital F.
Manipulation. No, I like finesse, not to mention just trying to find a way past this shield he's got put up. Yeah, I'll go death and wits. +1.
Mm-hmm.
3 successes. And he's defending with 7.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care.
So I got 3.
Yep.
So he's at 2 now?
14.
Yeah, and you see his prime magic just kind of shatter apart.
Okay.
And he will launch back with a bit of dramatic, like thunder and a lightning bolt coursing out from his hand. And he is, you can see as he's like looking back and forth, trying to figure out which direction, which course of the lightning that should go. It races up through your leg and just jolts your whole body.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with death again. And
he's in Obrimos. It does extra damage. Excuse me, hang on. Sorry. It's super effective. I apologize, everybody.
Super effective.
I'm going to go with death and try to do a cold snap, just like freezing him in place. So why does it keep unhighlighting what I want? Manipulation again.
And you'll get a
and I roll over 2.
No, just
+1?
because he reduced your
okay.
total.
3 successes.
Also, for those of you on the podcast, please applaud Ash for not using her best stats with every single roll, because it's what I would do. She's been fighting with one hand behind her back when she rolls manipulation, because that's 3. She's got 4 wits.
I used it when it made sense.
Sure, no, I'm proud of you, because that's not how I would do this. Presence every time, but still when I got 4 dots in.
Okay, so he gets one more round to try to not die.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he is going to put all of his will into just a grand display of like straight up like force lightning. Does get 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're down to, I believe, four doors.
I had 6. I had 8.
Judy, you were scorekeeper.
Yes. 4-4.
He's down to 1.
Okay. And let's see.
Or yeah, excuse me, 5-4.
I'm going to roll life and manipulation again, and I want flowers to grow from his mouth.
You'll make a pretty corpse, motherfucker.
And plus, do I get my +2 or no? Because he rolled. No, it's not.
Because he wasn't defending.
He wasn't
defending. Okay. 3 successes.
Cool. And with that, like, he kind of just like falls back and like drops to his knees, and the flower, like the magic of the arena, like disappears and fades, but your flowers are still there, like growing out of his tongue and his throat. And he is left completely shattered, but open for you to deal with him.
Yep. Okay, well, those were the terms. And
by the way, all of your willpower is refilled.
Okay.
And you gain the triumphant condition.
What's that mean?
Basically, you can flaunt it in front of other people, if I remember correctly.
Gloat.
It appears in your Nimbus, and until it's resolved, you get exceptional successes on 3 instead of 5 for any social for any social roles with any awakened society aware of the victory. So you need to go tell people about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
And you get a beat every time you throw it in someone's face.
okay, so
Cool.
what was my weapon again? Oh, right, I have a sickle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one too. I thought you meant the other one.
Yeah, the other one, which was like look
Oh,
him
the
in the
thorn whip?
eyes. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, yeah, I like the sickle and just like slitting his throat.
Cool.
Do I need to roll an
Alright.
active hubris for killing these people?
Yeah, I think that's probably a
Hey,
thing
while,
you need to do.
while you're at it, maybe you should roll that for what happened in episode 99 into 100. No, we'll do that.
That's a different character entirely.
Yes,
Exactly.
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah. So it'll be a 3 dice roll. Do you have any obsessions or your
Vice or
vice or virtue?
My virtue is just, which
I'd say that applies.
my vice is cruel.
Also applies.
I don't know that she was
No, I
very
didn't
cruel.
actually kill any of them that badly. The ones upstairs I dropped quickly and relatively.
Arsenic is not an easy death. It's not like they just laid down and went to sleep.
I don't think you didn't
Arsenic's not
relish
a quick
in,
death either.
you didn't
Yeah.
relish in the destruction that you caused. So
Like, yeah, whatever. I haven't figured out what poison it would have been, but it wouldn't have been arsenic. It would have been something.
I mean, does it have to be a real one?
It doesn't have to be a
Doesn't
real
have to be a
one.
real one. It can just be like, this food has the quality that it causes you to die.
Yeah.
This gives you like instant,
Yeah.
aneurysm.
Any obsessions apply?
No, my obsessions are to create plants that can treat more deadly diseases and get them out into sleeper society and set up my shop.
Cool.
So 4 dice then, right?
4
That's
dice.
Virtue.
Yeah, virtue gives you +1, vice gives you -2.
Which is super dumb, but I kind of get it.
I think it's flavorful and fun.
1 success.
Hey, there you go.
All you need.
Okay.
Cool.
Arcane Beam.
And
I always hate doing that because I never remember which one is good and which one is bad.
We will leave Amanita there at the Shirley Plantation and jump over to the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart in downtown Richmond, where
This was really
Vicar,
his fault. If he had maybe keep fighting him for real.
where Vicar is in residence at the moment.
So Vicar is in. I'm assuming the place doesn't have like a mass going on or something.
No.
So he's sitting in a pew, sort of in the middle of the back, and he's currently going through some like Mayan prayer beads as he's reciting a prayer. But that's just what he's doing on the surface. He's actually, there happens to be a ley line nexus underneath the church that he's sort of studying with his geomancy. And that's what he's up to as the scene opens.
What is
He's
strict
a grizzled-looking older gentleman. He's got probably a 3 or 4 day growth. The mustache is a permanent feature, but the beard just looks like he hasn't taken care of himself. He's got a ratty old fedora. He's wearing a long leather coat, but it's like faded, like it hasn't been changed out in a long time. It's not like floor length; it's more like mid-thigh leather coat. Ratty jeans and some grungy-looking shit kicker boots.
Cool. And as you are sitting there, minding your own business and studying the ley lines and how they connect and how they flow out and everything of this beautiful old church, you feel a cold presence right over the back of your shoulder. A familiar one.
I forgot about this.
Is it your familiar?
You got to stop doing this.
And in your
Okay.
mind, maybe not with your ears, but with your mind, you hear a woman's voice saying, I hate that you stole the words right out of my mouth. I've been telling you that you need to stop.
I will. Just not yet.
You know you're not doing this for me anymore, right?
I'm doing it because I want them to pay. I want them to know that this is happening to them and they brought it on themselves.
Would she call you Vicar, or would she call you your actual name?
She'd probably call me Vicar.
Vicar, you're going to get killed.
Yep.
You're going to pick a fight that you can't win.
Then at least I'll be where you are.
There's no guarantee of that.
Well, we're for sure separated right now. Maybe I'll take my chances.
Fine. Take any chance that you like. And she trails off instantly, coldly. And she manifests directly in front of you.
Oh,
Vicar, you need to go.
okay. That's a change in tone.
Something's coming.
I'm on my feet. And just to be clear, it's an image, right? So she's still translucent.
Mhm.
She doesn't have the manifest.
What does she look like?
Materialize.
Okay, so he's on his feet, checking the exits.
Mhm.
Make sure they're still open and heading for the closest one.
Cool. About the time that you get towards the main, gigantic 20-foot cathedral doors, it suddenly slams shut in your face. And on the ground in front of you, you see an eye open up and appear out of the twilight. And then another. And then some tongues, many mouths. And the entire cathedral is manifested as this gigantic set of innumerable wings appears. Your mage sight triggers
For
big
sure.
time.
So the whole building is manifested as some sort of entity, and I'm inside it. That's awesome.
all like underneath every pew, and like the wings wrapping up and like meeting at the center of the cathedral ceiling.
All right.
You instantly recognize that this is a supernal being, and it belongs to the Aether.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, duh.
Spin the collegial.
You here to give a message?
Unfortunately not, child of the Aether.
You picked a bad day to do this.
It is not my wish to be here, but your foe completed my task. So I am here in the role that I always am, as the Angel of Death. And that's where we'll call episode 1.
Is it that time already? Wow.
Yeah.
And it's also weird hearing you say that. Hi guys, welcome back. It's me. As always, thank you for joining us. I meant to mention it earlier. I'm going to mention it now, and we'll mention it in the future episodes. But as you can tell, we are playing some slightly darker characters. I've mentioned in chat because, hey, I can hang out in chat. Hi guys. Like, these characters are not nice. They're very, very good at what they do, and what they do is not very nice at all. I love that Wolverine quote. I will use it all the time. If you are squeamish about, stuff, maybe catch this on the, YouTube and pause where necessary to take a break if stuff. Because I'll be clear. Drifter has 4 dots in mind and is absolutely fine messing with people's minds. I mean, you saw what happened to Alexis, and he liked Alexis. Yeah. So
and I think before we dive into anything like that, I think we'll be talking about, hey, this scene might be a little.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go super descriptive on body horror.
Oh, right.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I could, but
you certainly know enough about it.
I'm going to choose not to.
Right. And the main thing is, like I said, this is just going to be something a little bit different. So just be aware of that. Some of this stuff is going to be, a little more touchy, a little more, I don't want to say extreme, because we're not trying to go for gross out or intentionally messing with anybody. But these characters are.
Goal is just a little bit of a faster
brutal.
paced, darker story.
Yep. So if you enjoyed this, we'll see you on the next episode, which will be on Friday, and then of course live, and Twitch guys will be back in a second. Of course, you can join us on Discord, yeetinto.space, to come chat with us, hang out, talk about what do you think about Chris storytelling instead of me. Does he need to take over? That's fine. I'll go sit down. No, that's fine. I mean, you heard him, guys. I just have to be a player now, Chris. I just,
they twisted your arm. I really noticed it.
So yes, but yeah, come join us, come hang out. Always good to hear from you guys. Also, if bring in some friends. If they're not watching the show, this is a great time to get them into it. And of course, when we come back for the real OA, the Rookery, they'll be back episode 100, whatever this is done, which will a handful of weeks, would be a great time to get people started, because we'll have the time skip and it'll be like starting season 2 of a television series. So do that. As always, if you want to support us, that is staylucky.club. Just because we haven't done it at all today. Okay.
No, because we're not here. No ding.
I had to get it out of my system. Yes, staylucky.club, hang out, chat with us. We've got all sorts of different little extra stuff, and I think we'll end up posting our character sheets there, I think, probably this weekend, if I can get them and myself to remember to actually get them made in a PDF instead of just Roll20, so you can kind of follow along and see what these characters are now that you've actually been introduced to them. I don't have anything else to say. Cool. Twitch guys, we'll see you in a few minutes. YouTube guys, we'll see you on Friday. Do we say it? I think we still say it, right, Craig? No?
No.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.